Somewhere at work, someone is turning down overtime because they think earning more will put them in the 40% bracket and leave them worse off. Maybe it's your colleague, or maybe it's you. So here's the truth. On salary alone, cross into the 40% band by £1 and the income tax on the extra pound is 40 pence. Not 40% on your salary, 40 pence. Only the pound above the line pays the higher rate. It doesn't re-tax the earnings underneath. And if the myth were true, a £1 pay rise would cost you thousands overnight. It has never worked that way. In the next 5 minutes, the machine behind your payslip, why your bonus looked half-taxed, and a few places where the fear is actually justified. Let's put it under the microscope. So, how does it actually work? Picture 3 buckets. Under this year's rules, 2026-2027, England, Wales and Northern Ireland, with the standard personal allowance, the first £12,570 goes into the tax-free bucket. Nothing taken. The next £37,700 fills the 20% bucket, and only what spills over £50,270 of total income lands in the 40% bucket. There's a 45% bucket above £125,140, but most people never touch it. Your money fills them in order. A pay rise never re-taxes the buckets below, ever. Let's test it. Let's say you're on £48,000 and you get a £5,000 rise. Straight across the line, part of the rise is taxed at 20%, only the slice above £50,270 gets 40%, and national insurance actually falls from 8% to 2% above that same line. It softens the jump. Add it all up, you keep about £3,200 of the £5,000, roughly 2/3, that's with the standard allowance and no pension or student loan in the mix. Through the tax bands alone, more pay in, more money in your pocket. So, why did your bonus feel like it got cut in half? Look at the payslip. It's a stack. 40% tax if you're over the line, 2% national insurance, 9% student loan if you've got one, and possibly a pension contribution too, depending on whether your scheme treats the bonus as pensionable. Stack those up and about half can be a real arithmetic, not a scandal, the stack. Sometimes there's a second issue. A month 1 emergency code taxes that pay period in isolation. So one big month can be overtaxed. If the code's later corrected, payroll or HMRC may put it right, but never assume a refund is automatically coming. Check your tax code. So no, the bands didn't rob your bonus, the stack did. But here's the important bit. There are places where one extra pound really does trigger something nasty. Just a quick one, guys. If this is already making more sense than your payslip ever did, then please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you're notified each time we release a new video. Let's get back to it. None of these are the tax bands. They're separate rules stacked on top, but they're real, and it's worth knowing by name. 1. Your savings allowance. Become a higher rate taxpayer and your personal savings allowance halves. £1,000 becomes £500, with £1,000 of interest that can cost you anywhere from about £100 to £200, depending on where the interest falls. But we put that whole machine under the microscope in our savings interest video. Check out the link in the description. 2. Child benefit. Between £60,000 and £80,000, it gets clawed back. 1% for every £200 over. For a 2-child family with employment income in England, Wales or Northern Ireland, that corridor averages roughly 54p lost from each extra pound. Income tax, national insurance and the child benefit charge combined, not a cliff, a very expensive corridor. 3. The £100,000 line. Your personal allowance starts disappearing. An effective 60% zone in England, Wales and Northern Ireland, higher in Scotland, and eligibility for tax-free childcare is lost if either partner's expected adjusted net income goes over the £100,000. And 4. The quiet one. Marriage allowance. If the receiving partner crosses into a higher rate, the couple can lose it. Notice what all 4 have in common. Separate rules. The tax bands alone cannot turn a rise into a smaller pay packet. The risk always comes from the rules stacked on top. If you're in Scotland, same marginal principle, different numbers. 6 bands, starting at 19% and topping out at 48%, with the 42% higher rate beginning at £43,663, but a rise still doesn't re-tax the income underneath. Now, why this video matters more every year, across the UK, The standard personal allowance is fixed at £12,570 until April 2031. In England, Wales and Northern Ireland, the £50,270 higher rate threshold is frozen until then too, and Scotland sets its own bands year by year. So as pay rises against frozen thresholds, more people get pulled into higher rates. But wherever you live, the principle holds. Only the slice above the line pays the new rate. That's the whole machine. Quick recap under the microscope. Tax bands are marginal. Only the money above the line pays the higher rate. Your bonus wasn't robbed, it was stacked. And the genuine dangers, the savings allowance, child benefit, and the £100,000 taper are separate rules worth knowing by name. If you've got savings earning interest, our savings interest video shows exactly when HMRC starts taking a slice. And the letter that catches people out. That's your next watch. See you on the next one, guys.